Thank you everybody for coming here today. I'm super nervous. Is it evident? No? Yes? Okay, we're going to try and get through this together. All right. 3 consecutive generations of engineers and 1 accidental aspirational singer who had no clue about how to make it as a singer. She just knew that she had to make it. So she made some crazy decisions. She fell, she fumbled, she struggled, but she never gave up, at least up till now. That's me. Hi, I'm Antara Nandy, 23 years of age. I'm a singer, songwriter, composer, a social media influencer, and a super new playback singer. From my intro, you guys have already probably guessed that my professional journey up till now hasn't quite been all chalked out and sorted. It was a lot less here opens the door to your ever beaming successful career, and a lot more let's shut all doors right at her face. They majorly make sense? No? Okay, I'll put it in perspective. I was 4 years old when I started learning Hindustani classical under Ustad Rashid Khan Sahab in Kolkata. Fun fact, my engineer parents had very less technical knowledge about music, but all the love in the world for it. So they made sure that I always had everything that I needed to do what I wanted to do. For the same, they decided to move from Assam to Kolkata just to make sure that I had the best of Indian classical training. Up until the age of 9, my life was pretty sorted. School in the morning, music classes in the evening for 5 hours. 5 hours of nothing but pure Hindustani classical music every single day, and I'd not have it any other way. I have no complaints whatsoever. Up until the time I was 9.5 years old, very precise, 9.5. My driver uncle, who used to drive me to school, tuition, music class, he decided to voice his opinion. I heard him. He said, if you're not appearing on a reality TV show, you're not a singer, so you should go to a reality TV show. And I thought, yeah, if I'm not coming on TV, am I ever a singer? But I also knew that my super strict Bengali parents would not approve of me chucking academics for that span and going on television. So I struck a sneaky deal with my driver uncle, wherein he went and he stood in line for the auditions at 3 a.m. in the morning at Salt Lake Stadium, Kolkata. He gives my mom a call at 10 a.m. and he says, Bhabhi ji, baby ko leke aa jao na audition ke liye. And that's how I was introduced to the world of entertainment, showbiz, and light singing. Sare Gamapa Little Champs 2009. I was 9.5 years old, like I mentioned. And that show opened doors in way more ways than just one for me. First of all, I at least started believing in myself. You know, when you suddenly have people who you've only watched on screen or read about in magazines suddenly validating you, you definitely start feeling like maybe I am not all that random. And that unattainable dream of becoming a singer starts feeling a little less unattainable to me. But here's the thing about reality shows. You are watched, you are loved, you are cherished till the time you're on the show and for a little while after the show. But just till the time that the next season comes up. Next season, new children, old children are forgotten, and it's inevitable, you know, like out of sight is out of mind. But for that 10-year-old me, that feeling of having lost my first and only platform felt very scary. And that feeling of what next? Like, what happens to my life? How do I go ahead in my life? That feeling used to creep up my spine every single night. Ammi Jaan kehti thi. Every time you feel like a door has shut in front of your face, or you feel like you've hit a wall, or you feel like this is the end of the world and you don't know what to do with your life anymore, that point, that exact point is when you're supposed to bomb that damn wall, break that wall and carve your own path. And nobody else is going to do that for you. And that path is going to be your own unique path. Now I was 10 years old. These were just big words that made no sense to me. It took me a couple of more years and way many, a lot many setbacks for me to understand what mom really meant. You know, back in the day, when somebody decided to become a musician, the route that they would usually choose is they'd release an album, like a compilation of a couple of songs. They'd put it together in the form of an album and release it in the form of a CD. I was 11. We decided to do that. My first album, my own songs, not anybody else's songs that I was covering, my own songs. This was my first album in Bengali. It was a devotional album, Esho Mato Lokhi Devi. And we poured our all into it. When I say all, I mean financially and creatively. We spent 1 year planning the album, getting everything in place, and then we released the album. After the album was released, my mom actually took the CD herself to every publication, every FM station, every newspaper house, everywhere, and she personally requested them to write about it or play the songs. Some of them agreed to, some of them did play it, but most of them didn't, because devotional album. And just then, we saw that shift happening. The shift from the CD cassette era to the digital era. Soon after that, I was called by a very eminent music director in Kolkata for a recording. I went for the recording, sang the song, came out of the recording booth. I was like super excited, what does he have to say? And he said, I hear you're good at academics. I hear your parents are engineers, no? Do that. Do what you're good at. Why are you wasting your time and your parents' resources trying to do something which is not your cup of tea? Telling somebody who has only ever dreamt of getting on that stage, singing for a huge audience and imagining their audience singing with them, telling somebody like that what you're dreaming of is unattainable, it's pretty much like bombing a tower that you've been trying to build brick by brick all on your own right in front of your eyes. Setback number 2. Doesn't end there. I lost my voice completely. I went through something that females usually don't go through. It's called the voice change period. Boys might relate, but I had completely lost my voice. I couldn't even talk. So singing was a distant aspiration to have. I was lost, broken. The fact that I ever thought I could be a singer felt stupid to me at that point. And that span, that was the only time in my life where I stopped touching the tanpura, I stopped sitting for riyaz, I stopped going to music school, I stopped humming songs when I'd hear them on the radio. I cut music off my life. I shut myself behind doors with my books. I'd go to school, come back, study, repeat. That's it. And I was the unhappiest I've been up until now. One of those days, I was just going to school and my neighbor, she met me with her little daughter on the way and she just, casually started speaking to me. So, what's up? How's life? I'm like, yeah, cool. Then she says, what happened, Antara? We don't hear your riyaz anymore. Your 5 a.m. riyaz used to be my alarm clock, Now I have to set a separate alarm to wake up. I said, just exam time. Then she said, no, you have to talk to Riya here. She keeps nagging me to put her to a music school and I keep telling her that it's not easy. And she keeps saying, I want to become like Antara Didi. And I told her, you have to be driven enough. You have to wake up in the morning. Will you put all that effort? Tell her, no, Antara. I swear I didn't hear anything after the line where she said, Riya wants to grow up and become like Antara Didi. I sat down, I hugged Riya and I was crying and her mom's looking at me like, what on earth just happened? I was bawling my eyes out and I hugged her and I said, if music makes you happy, if singing makes you happy, sing till the last day. Don't listen to anybody who tells you that you can't. That conversation that day was, I think, nudge enough for me to come back home and realize what my mom had said about bombing that wall and not listening to anybody and carving my own path. I came back home from school that day, switched on my electronic tanpura, tuned my tanpura and tried to hit my first sa in months. I couldn't hit it. I hit it completely off pitch. But I was the happiest I had been in months hitting a wrong note because I was doing what I love and what I was meant to do all this time. And I let go of that because of something I heard somebody else say. I took training. I needed a little treatment. I gave myself time, polished myself. It took me a while, but I got back. And I started looking for that path of my own. And that's when I remembered this song by Shakira I was obsessed with, Waka Waka. How many of you have heard that? Yeah? So the first line goes like this. You're a good soldier, choosing your battles. Pick yourself up and dust yourself up, get back in the saddle. Shakira said that. Who am I to not abide by that? So I decided to take her words for it. Enters social media in my life. My journey on social media started as randomly as me sitting by my study table being super tired of practicing maths in a very dimly lit room, looking tired as hell, singing my favorite song at that time, Tu Hi Re. I didn't even have my own phone, so we shot the video on my mom's phone. And I put it up on my Facebook page. Instagram wasn't a big thing back then. And weirdly, that video caught the attention of Leslie Lewis, sir. He had commented on that video. Very soon after that, we posted a video of me singing a ghazal on which Bhupinder Singh ji had commented. Now for the teenage me, these two comments were like the biggest rays of hopes because it felt like you know, I didn't have to in person take my content to them. They had just watched my video online while I was sitting in one corner of Kolkata. So this is the way ahead. And then I just started posting videos online. I was super consistent. I remember YouTube was just taking off, and I was very inspired by Vidya Vox and Jonita Di and Sanam Puri, and I wanted my videos to look super amazing like them, you know, like a full band and awesome looking video. But I also knew it was an expensive affair and it was very time consuming. So I couldn't bring myself to ask my dad for a video like that. Plus time consuming, and I was in high school. So I found out my own way. Necessity is the mother of invention, as they call it. I didn't have any resources in hand. I just had my mom's phone, and I had my voice, and I had my, you know, partner in crime, my younger sister. So my younger sister and I, we started posting videos wherein we'd play random things around the house, like you can see, cups, chopsticks, salt containers, table, slabs, aluminum ladders, the randomest of things. And the point we were trying to make at that time is, if you really want to create music, you can make it anytime with anything that you have. And 5 of those videos, back to back, had gone viral. All of a sudden, from 50 views to wishing I had 5K views to actually hitting 5 million views, that transition happened over 2 weeks. And all of a sudden, we were on all WhatsApp groups and media was covering us. One of those mornings, I woke up and I saw Sonu Nigam ji sharing my post. And we were like, what is even happening? And that page, my only platform, you know, I had nothing. My social media was my only platform. My portfolio, which I had started from ground zero, and it had reached 2 million within just a couple of months. We were super happy. It felt like, oh my God, I think I'm finally getting where I want to get. And just then, shut the door on her damn face. My 2 million page gets hacked and deleted before we could retrieve it. My portfolio, all this time of work and hard work was just gone, poof. You know, that's the thing. I think our lives are comprised of little victories and a lot more setbacks. Cut to lockdown, 2020. I just graduated from college and I was super happy, and I was going to move to Bombay and finally do what I've been wanting to do for years, become a full-time musician. I was going to move to Bombay and do my struggle as a musician and meet all people. COVID. And we were literally shut behind closed doors. I started receiving calls from my friends who were already in Bombay saying, we are leaving the city, it's very difficult to stay here, there's no work, everything stopped. And every day we'd switch on the news and we'd just find some very grim and negative news every single day. There was negativity everywhere and everybody was scared as hell. I remember one of those mornings when I felt like, gosh, this was supposed to be the peak of my career. If I can't make it to Bombay now, it's the end of my career. That's the same time I also felt that as a musician in times like this when everything is so grim, if watching a 3-minute video of mine can make somebody bob their heads for a bit and smile for a little while after the video, I think that's the least I can do as a musician. That's when my younger sister Ankita and I, we started a series called Balcony Concert, wherein we'd stand on our balcony with our ukuleles in hand and we'd sing folk songs at large, a few film songs also once in a while, but folk songs at large. When we started the series, I remember a lot of people asking, why folk songs? Do something more contemporary that your generation will relate to. I was adamant. I said, because I have always felt that way, that people my age have ventured out and, tried to learn about the Western culture so much. We enjoy music that's not our own when we have things in our country which is so unexplored and half the people don't know about. In times when people were saying, we have nothing to do, we are bored, Ankita and I, we did 173 virtual shows for Indian and international companies. After the lockdown opened, we started touring the world together as Nandi sisters, as the two sisters who sing folk songs, Indian folk songs, with their ukulele. And, that time when I was told I couldn't be a musician, cut to after lockdown when I finally got to work with Salim Suleiman on the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav project. It's called the Shukriya Anthem for the Finance Ministry, where I sang the song in 3 languages. 2022, I get a call from Rahman sir's office a few days before the release of one of the biggest films of last year, of 2022, Ponniyin Selvan, PS1 by Mani Ratnam sir, and I get to know that I'm singing one of the most eminent songs of the film in not one, but 4 languages. From growing up worshipping posters of Rahman sir, to being told dreaming of being a singer is, it's just stupid, to finally making it as a playback singer, I'd say my life has come full circle and it's been a complete roller coaster. Recent updates, my newest song has come out in PS2, Megha Re Megha, which again happens to be a duet with the person who had once inspired me to start my own YouTube channel, Jonita Gandhi. My younger sister Ankita and I have just made our debut in the Bengali film industry for one of the biggest music directors, Anindo Chatterjee sir. I have huge dreams, like unrealistic dreams, and I'm sure a lot of us do. But this is something I realized before I walked on stage when I was planning this speech, that it's not the dreams that are unrealistic. It is expecting that the path to get to that dream is going to be a cakewalk that is unrealistic. Like I said, our lives, we're going to have little victories and a lot more setbacks. So when we are getting the victory, enjoy it, bask in the light of that success, absorb it. And when you get that setback, hit back with all that positive energy till you get through that setback and get to your next victory. Make sure you keep people who matter around you. Learn, unlearn, relearn, never stop learning, whatever field you are in. I'm still a student. I'm a student of Rahul Deshpande ji now. And I still sit for my riyas. I still attend my classes, and I always will. And the next time you feel like you've hit that wall, or that door has shut for you, or you feel like it's the end of the world, I'd just like you to think of this one song. You got it. We all got it. Just keep faith in yourself and trust the process. Thank you.